You're watching BBC Breakfast. Now, President Trump says bad and dangerous people may now be pouring into the United States because of the judge who suspended his controversial travel ban.
Visa holders from the affected nations have been catching flights, fearing they have only a slim window to enter America. The US Department of Justice has now formally appealed against the court ruling. Well, joining us from Houston in Texas is Josh Blackman, a constitutional law professor. There's no real precedent for this, is there, where the courts are actually sort of tackling an executive order or challenging the president's wishes?
Thank you for having me. This order is indeed unprecedented. Traditionally, the courts have had very little role in the decision of who is and who is not admitted into the United States. Yesterday, a judge in Washington state issued an order telling the president throughout the entire world people with valid visas should be allowed to enter. This is the first time any court's ever even attempted a step such as this.
What do you make of the federal judge's order? Because the Department of Justice is saying it's not detailed enough.
They're exactly right. The DOJ's brief, which was Department of Justice's brief filed about 20 minutes ago, I've read it already, claims that the judge in Washington made no analysis, and they're correct. It's a very thrifty analysis, maybe about 2 paragraphs long, and it doesn't even explain the basis on which he was acting. For such a momentous decision, the judge really should have done more than what he did.
But his general feeling is that it's unconstitutional, and you would probably suppose that he's thinking, if you put Donald Trump's views on Muslims during the election campaign, where he said he wanted a full Muslim ban, together with this executive order, then it does look like a Muslim ban.
Indeed, that's the question the courts will have to consider. But generally, with respect to decisions about admissions, courts don't look at the president's intent. They look at the facial policy, and if the policy in its face excludes based on nationality, that is something that many presidents have done before. So it's not entirely clear if the analysis from Washington is what will carry the day.
I suppose some people would have some sympathy with President Trump, because if a president is not in control of a country's borders, then what does he exist for?
This is actually a point that the Justice Department makes in their brief. If the judge in Washington's ruling is correct, then if the president goes to war with another country and he says, we don't want admitting people from X country, could a judge then tell him, no, you have to admit them? We think that they're actually safe. So there's a very risky slope, so to speak, from the court's order that I don't think was fully appreciated by this hasty decision.
But then does it beg the question that there have been so many executive orders, we've had a flurry of them over the first 2 weeks. Is there perhaps a chance that other executive orders might now be challenged by the courts?
Oh, absolutely. I think in the first 2 or 3 weeks of his presidency, President Trump has been sued hundreds of times across the country. So it'll be a favorite tool of his opponents to go to the court to try and stop him.
Josh Blackman, thank you very much for being with us this morning from Houston in Texas. Thank you.